The Oscar for the most influential guitarist for Oscar is Wolf Hoffmann from Accept. I grew up with Accept, and I have never had more respect for a guitar player the way he does. He's a lead guitar player. He incorporates riffs and licks into his leads. It's not just shredding, but most of all it's because of how he writes songs. The way he writes the songs they had such a tremendous influence on me and on Hammerfall. So here you go, Wolf. Congratulations.
Screaming and twisting, he's pounding his sword to the ground.
The honorary mention for the Oscar for the most influential riff is for Accept's Love Child. But the actual award for the most influential riff goes to Heaven's Gate and In Control. It's the riff that comes after the verse. After the chorus. So here you go, Heaven's Gate. Thank you for so much great music, and thank you, Wolf.
Guided by courage, the fear of eternal disgrace.
The Oscar for most outstanding frontman has two layers. The first layer, and I guess this would be the honorary mention, would be Dee Snider. He's a fantastic frontman on stage. He's so full of energy and does everything with such a great conviction. But being a huge Merciful Fate King Diamond fan, I have to say King Diamond, because he doesn't do it the same way Dee does it. He does it completely different, but I think King Diamond would be the only person ever to have a microphone stand with a cross made of bones, and when the guitar solo comes, he comes out and starts playing on it like air guitar on his mic stand. He's the only guy that can ever do that and get away with it. So the Oscar for the most outstanding frontman goes to King Diamond.
Trail of his lifeblood fail to embrace, trapped in the corner.
The Oscar for the greatest or the most beautiful artwork on an album cover, I think will go to I thought it was going to go to Don't Break the Oath with Merciful Fate, because that is the most beautiful album cover I have ever seen. But I would like to give the Oscar this year to a band that has been very influential to me as well, and it's an old one. It's one of the first albums I discovered with this band, and I guess this is why I feel the way I do. But the Oscar for the most outstanding album cover goes to, it's not a big surprise, Kiss, for Kiss Alive 2. The Oscar for most outstanding comedian. I love comedy, especially British comedy. There are so many funny guys here, it's ridiculous. If I lived here, I would never get anything done. But I think that whenever I watch a guy like Jimmy Carr, and I laugh so hard I can almost not sit up anymore. I have a comedy night with a friend of mine. We watch Jimmy Carr, we watch Stephen Merchant or Ricky Gervais or well, some American comedians as well. It doesn't matter, because the night always ends up the same way, and it ends up, it never fails. It ends up with Eddie Murphy from Raw and Delirious on various choice select bits that we've been talking about through the night. I can trace, I know Eddie Murphy stole, but he was very influenced by Richard Pryor and all that. But for me, today's comedy all goes back to Eddie Murphy and those shows that he did back then. So the Oscar for most outstanding comedian is yours, Eddie. There you go. Thank you. This award is for the toughest or my most favorite wrestler, or the greatest wrestler. And I think that if you are a wrestler and having invested your whole life and your whole career into it, and then at the age of 40 something you switch gears and go into the music business and succeed there as well, I think you deserve an Oscar. So Chris Jericho, this is Oscar's Oscar for the most outstanding wrestling performance. It's yours, buddy.
The hunter's the hunted, the spectre within will soon come alive.
This Oscar's Oscar is for my favorite TV show. And I gotta mention a few, because it's impossible for me to pick one. But I will mention these and they all get to share it. This is a highly unusual method of giving out Oscars, but this is the way we do it this year. If we're talking about regular television series, I have to say The Wire, Southland, Sons of Anarchy. Actually, that one has lost a little steam lately, but it still is a really, really good one. Dallas. Actually, forget everything I just said. Dallas wins the title, no question. Dallas wins the title of Oscar's Oscar for Best Television Series.